Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Book Talk Tuesdays for Tweens and Teens. My name is Miss Lauren, and I am the Youth Services Librarian here at the Garfield Library. This week, we're going to be talking about the book A Court of Thorns and Roses, and this is by Sarah J. Maas. This story is a very high fantasy book. It is about a 19-year-old girl, Feyre, and she kind of takes care of her family, her father and her two sisters, and she hunts for them and gets their food. And one day she kind of runs into a fairy, who is shaped like a wolf, and she ends up shooting it, or with her bow and arrow. And she was on the fence as to whether it was a wolf or if it was a fairy. She took her chances, and it leads her into this whole new adventure. And in that, it ends up turning to be a fairy, and the consequence of that is either death or she has to come back to the fairyland with them. So it's her whole adventure into this other land, and you get to see all these other creatures that are in this fantasy world, and then her family back in the other world, like where me and you come from, end up being in trouble, and she goes back to them, and you kind of see what happens in both worlds. And it is a great book if you enjoy fantasy and you enjoy other realms. The one thing about this is I really recommend this for upper high school level and higher. It's very mature. It's got a lot of mature content in it because there is a love story within it, and there's also some violence. So definitely recommended for a more mature audience. So once again, if you're into high fantasy, I recommend A Court of Thorns and Roses. And this is by Sarah J. Maas, and there is more in this series. So there's, I believe it's about 7 or 8 books in it, but I definitely recommend it. And I hope you enjoyed this talk, and we will see you again next week. Bye, everyone.